Big Tractor Power is here at the 2019 National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky, and we're going to walk through all the new John Deere products here at the show. And we're going to start out here with Colburn Dittmer and talk about some new features for the John Deere 9R, 9RX tractors for 2019. Colburn, thanks for visiting with us. Get a lot of coverage of the 9Rs and 9RXs. What can you tell us about the updates for 2019?
So we've got a couple updates. First comes standard is engine side panels. As you can see here, we have side panels on this tractor. Next is 120-inch spacings with 30 or 36-inch tracks. And then we also have an option for seating, hydraulic, intelligent power management targeted to those folks in air seating. Okay, and so I guess from a cosmetics stance, and this is now standard, is the side panel. What does that help do out in the field? Or? Yep, so it helps with debris management, and then we also have a panel here on the side for easy access for service and checking oils. Well, I know seeing a lot of them this year, it's been so muddy. See a lot of dirt build up in there, and that'll keep it a lot cleaner. So yeah, with the combination of the spacing and then also the panels, it really helps significantly with debris management for sure. Well, we'll step back here and talk about that spacing, because that was the first thing I noticed about this tractor, how much wider it looked. I've seen the narrow track models for the row crop work, but this one kind of has that similar stance now. That's right. So with this stance, it's the same spacing. We've had 120 spacings for those 18 and 24-inch tracks in the past, and now industry exclusive, you can now get 120 inch spacings with 30 or 36-inch tracks. And I imagine that probably gives a little bit of smoother ride too, being out that wide. Yep. Well, I'm going to just walk back here and show people. Again, you can see how wide this tractor is now, and that is going to be pretty cool to see out in the field. And a very nice update on the 9RX. Colburn, a lot of these big 9R, 9RX, 9RT tractors do a lot of seating, heavy hydraulics. You've got the new N530 seeders coming out and hooked up to this machine. So what have you added to the hydraulics as an option to help out with that kind of application? So with the seating hydraulic intelligent power management option, it comes with 3/4 inch hydraulic SCVs, and then you get 5 1/2 inch hydraulic SCVs, and also get additional horsepower with this package as well. So that more horsepower from the engine then, or more from the hydraulics, or? It's more power from the engine, yep. Okay. Very, very impressive, because they're already big tractors, and we know today it's just kind of hooked up for display purposes, but really looking forward to seeing it out in the field and what it can do. Absolutely. So are these available, is that setup available from Deere right now, and the tractors coming a lot? Today. Yep. Well, thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new 2019 models out in the field. Sounds great, thank you. Thanks. We are here with Ann Anderson from John Deere at the National Farm Machinery Show, and John Deere has an exciting new 6R series tractor, the 6250R, high horsepower, mid-size tractor. And Ann's going to tell us a little bit about what it does and the markets it's kind of geared for.
Yeah, so we've actually got 2 new high horsepower models in the 6R series, a 6230 and a 6250R. And those are really designed to be transport tractors, or designed for haulage applications that a lot of our livestock producers, dairy producers, and hay producers would be using. One of the great things about this machine is that the overall size, dimensions, the engine horsepower, and the transmissions that it's configured with lend itself really well to fast acceleration once you get on the road. And there's 2 different transmission options. One will give you a top speed of 25 miles an hour. The other one will give you a top speed of 31 miles an hour.
And this tractor is standard with the IVT, so it's well suited for high speeds. Yep,
you got it. Standard with the IVT transmission. If you can tell from the axle here on the front, it also comes with triple link suspension, which helps with ride comfort. It also helps with traction in the field.
Now, you also had mentioned when we were talking that this tractor, you said, is meant for haulage, so if you're a dairy farmer hauling heavy silage wagons, that's handy, but you also specialize in the sugarcane market that this tractor has some advantages for as well.
Yeah, so compared to our other 6Rs and also our 7R family, this machine has about 4 inches of more crop clearance. That's going to be really great for our sugarcane customers who are hauling sugarcane wagons around along with the harvester, so they don't damage the crop when they're driving through the field.
Now I know a number one question people are always going to ask is why so much horsepower in this tractor? I mean, it's bigger than an 8,000 was 20 years ago. What are you seeing? Why are we getting so much horsepower in this size tractor?
So right now we have the same horsepower overlap with our 6, 7, and 8 families. And in the 7 and 8 tractors, those are really going to be designed to get that power to the ground for a row crop application, heavy tillage, or whatever that may be. This tractor, the additional horsepower is really for pulling a cart, pulling a baler, maybe a large square baler, something that's really heavy. But that pulling power isn't necessarily to the ground, but it's something that you're going to be pulling behind you, probably for a PTO application.
Also, this model has a little bit larger stance and frame than the 6215R, which was the top end before.
Yep, so compared to the top end before, the 6215R, this one is 4 inches longer, and it's also about 4 inches higher. So there's a couple differences for cooling package and air intake on this engine to compensate for all the additional horsepower. So we needed to raise the cab about 4 inches, so that's why it looks so big for a 6R. We've gotten that comment a lot. So you still have impressive visibility out the front of the machine. A lot of these machines that are going to be coming are going to be configured with loaders too. It's extremely versatile. Where you can get it configured with a loader, you can get it with a front hitch, front PTO, also rear PTO as well for all those different applications, but you want to have the visibility if you have a loader on the front as well.
And I noticed this one is set up with the front 3-point hitch, so you can set this up for mowing, for other applications with that.
You could set this up for a front mount mower. I know in Iowa, I wish I had a front mount snowblower to go on it for this winter.
Right.
So all those front mount implements that you would want to run, you will get the front hitch in base for right now, and then the PTO is an option that you can get from the factory.
Well, Ann, thank you very much for telling us about this tractor, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of it out in the field soon.
You got it.
Thank you. At the National Farm Machinery Show with Tyler Rumble of John Deere, and he's got some exciting new information about the new John Deere air seeders. We're going to take a look at a model N530C and talk about a lot of the updates it has over the popular 1990.
That's correct, thank you. So this is, like he said, this is the N530C. This is a direct replacement for the current 1990 CCS. And as we step back and we look at the drill, first thing you're going to notice is the redesigned meter access. So no longer do we have to crawl up underneath and get all dusty to clear a meter blockage. Now we have those meter blockages, we can come right in here and drop the door down, we can clear those right away. If our blockage is lower in the meter, we can drop the plenum out of the way and clear it there. So huge redesign over the 1990. To do this, we redesigned the mainframe. So we moved the tank back, we moved the tank up to allow for that access to the meters. But not only did we give it better meter access, we also brought a lot of proven technologies from the planning lineup and the larger air seeders. So as we transition around the side of the machine,
I wanted to ask, I guess you have the electric clutches in here now?
I was just going to get to that. Yep, I was going to show them on the side. But so from the Exactamerge planner, we took the electric drives from the Exactamerge. So the same power generation system and the exact same motors from the Exactamerge planners that are driving these meter sections.
So that's got to be handy for soybeans, canola, things like that.
Yep, so the electric drives, we all know, we're pretty familiar with the benefits of electric drives from the Exactamerge. Just very precise, very smooth metering. We don't get any ratcheting along those meters, so that keeps that seed flow very consistent in the seed tubes. We also went to 4 sections versus 2 sections, and then with that electric motor, that allowed us to have variable rate and prescription seeding. It also allowed for turn compensation, so the outside meters will speed up as we're going around the corner, and they slow down as you on the inside of the corner.
Well, that's some nice technology.
Yeah, it's very good. So we're just trying to save that extra 0.5%, 1%, 1.5%, going after that extra yield benefit. We're down to those 1% and 2% that we're trying to save everybody or make people. So as we transition around the machine, we'll also see we have some tank scales here. So they're from the factory. We factory installed tank scales, and with tank scales, now you'll get a technology called Active Cal. So Active Cal is just what it sounds like. It's actively calibrating our meters to make sure that we're putting out the correct amount of seed all the time. once again ensuring that we have the correct seeding rate, so we have the correct emergence, the correct plant density, we'll have even flowering, less weed pressure, even cutting, even dry down, name all the benefits from an even spread of seed. Alrighty, so we'll come around here on the corner of the machine. So you'll see here that we have the Pro Series opener. Now the Pro Series opener came out last year, and a quick update on the Pro Series, we eliminated the daily grease points. So no longer do we have the 10-hour grease points. We went to a nylon bushing with sealed caps on it. So those are lifetime bushings that no longer need daily greasing. We also added a flexible seed press wheel to ensure that we have good seed to soil contact. And down on the bottom, it's really difficult to see, but there's a seed tab down here that's now a UV resistant material, and it just simply doesn't break off as much. We also added spoked gauge wheels and serrated closing wheel options as well. So just giving growers more options for their specific conditions. Up here we have relative flow blockage sensors. So we've always had blockage on the air seeders, and our blockage has said, yes, I'm planting, or no, I'm not planting. Yes, I'm blocked, or yes, I'm seeding. Now this is going to look and feel a little bit more like a planner. So on our planner map, or on our map, or our run page, excuse me, you're going to see the bars going up and down, and that's the flow relative from one row to the next. So we'll show that maybe row 1 is at 95% of optimum and row 10 is at 110%. We're showing that variation, telling growers, telling operators exactly what this machine is doing.
Now also, I think you have Wi-Fi capability now, so you have less wires to test all this and watch it.
Great point. So we have an app called the Seed Plus app that you can download on your Apple or Android device, and then this machine will broadcast a Wi-Fi network. And when we hook up to this machine, we can see the weight, the scales, so we can see the weight of the tank, and then we can also calibrate the meters on that. So through that app, we can enter data that will then get picked up by the machine, and it'll get sent to the display. So we can wirelessly send data to the display from the back of the machine, all through John Deere, all through the John Deere canvas. Yep. So as we look at the tank, you'll notice that that's changed a lot as well. So on the 30 and 36 foot models, we have a 100 bushel tank. That's a 20 bushel increase. On the 40 and 42 foot models, it's now a 120 bushel tank. So once again, another 20 bushel increase. And that tank's been remolded so that we don't have any water ingression, or on the bottom of the meters, you can see how that goes over the meter. So now we'll no longer get water in the meters.
Oh, definitely a standout design.
That has been a huge redesign. So I think we'll come around here and we'll take a look at our front decal. So you see here, it's our new name and numbering system. This is being premiered on air seeding today. It's the N530C series. This has a 3 in it, so I'll quickly go through it. So the N stands for no-till. We have a no-till opener. The 5 is just the machine series. The next 2 digits are the machine width. So for this, it's a 30-footer, so therefore the 30. And the C stands for CCS.
Okay.
So it's a brand new name and numbering system from John Deere air seeding that we will soon be premiering on the rest of the air seeding lineup in the coming years.
That's really easy to follow. I know I filmed a 1890 this fall, and the farm had a 50-footer and a 60-footer.
Yep.
But I thought they were just both 60 feet. It was hard to tell.
Yep, so that will
now I can watch that number.
N550.
All right.
It doesn't have a CCS tank, it'll just be N550.
Well, Tyler, thank you for the tour of the machine. I'm looking forward to seeing one of these out in the field soon, and great information.
You bet. Thanks for stopping by.
We're here with Bennett Rickey of John Deere. We're going to be talking about the new variable intensity tillage tool. This is vertical tillage, a 2660 VT from John Deere. Bennett, this is a new machine from the ground up. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the first thing is, thanks for having me. We're with the 2660 VT variable intensity tillage tool. So what we're going to talk about here is kind of some of the key features that make this stand out compared to other tools. And The first thing is the TrueSet technology. With TrueSet, we can adjust every setting on this tool from in the cab. So that's a big advantage that we have. It makes the tool actually have the variability and the adjustability from in the field. So the first thing that we can adjust is the gang angle. So if we walk back here, you can see here we can go from 0 to 12 degrees on this gang angle. What that does is gives us the ability to have the true vertical tillage at 0 degrees, and then the ability to go all the way to 12 degrees to have some of that horizontal soil movement and actually bury and size some residue with that.
And what can you tell us about the blades? What kind of blade are you using on this?
So that's a 22-inch John Deere Commander blade, specifically designed for this tool to be able to handle that 0 to 12 degree range. So it is a double cut edge, so there's a sharp edge on both sides, self-sharpening, so when it wears, it does wear with the flute. So very nice blade. It also does have more of a flexible interior of the blade, allowing it to flex and move with rocks and things like that in the field. So a lot of technology in that blade that we're pretty excited about to have on this tool.
It looks impressive, and I noticed just looking at this that it has pretty heavy duty framing. I guess we're looking at maybe the flotation tires here as well. And
Yep, and we'll show you these back here.
So this is not just, a lot of companies just use their disc design, put some kind of vertical tillage blades on it, but this is a true VT machine.
The true vertical tillage machine and more, we like to say. So we have the vertical tillage with the 0 degrees, maybe 0 to 5 degrees is a lot of typically what they run the vertical tillage at, but we also have the ability to get more aggressive when you need to take out some weeds, when you need to actually bury some more of that trash or fill in a tire rut or something of that sort. We have the ability to simply adjust it from in the cab, and that'll take care of the issue.
So that's really handy to have it fully adjustable from the cab, no in and out.
Yep, no in and out, no messing around. That is an extremely nice feature and part of this tool.
All right, so here we have the tires, which look pretty heavy duty.
Yep, so these are the high flotation radial tires. So what makes these nice from some of the other tire options and things of that sort is we have the ability in the spring you can get in maybe a little wetter fields. You don't have the tire tracks behind you. It leaves a nice field finish. With that field finish, as we move back, we do have the John Deere Pro Finish leveling system.
Okay.
And with that leveling system, we've got the dual baskets. The first basket is your knife basket, and then on the back, we do have the round bar option or the flat bar option.
So you kind of chop up any clods or residue and then firm it up with that second bar?
Yep, exactly. So the first one is specifically to kind of pound things down and actually pin some of that residue to the ground and do a nice job leveling. And then also we've got the dual basket, different options on the back to do kind of some more of that leveling, knocking the clouds out and making a nice level, smooth finish.
And then what sizes does the machine come in?
Yep, so we have optionality from 20 feet to all the way up to 50 feet with this tool. So.
Well, that'll cover some ground. And one thing I wanted to ask about before we wrap up, up here I noticed there's kind of a guard on the outside of the blades. What is the purpose of this?
Yeah, so that is our soil shield is what we like to call it. So basically what it's doing is it's alleviating basically throwing a furrow out, and as you go down and back, some tools will create a little mound there. What this does, it just keeps the soil within the width of the tool. One thing to mention about the 2660 VT also, if we say 30 inches or 30 feet and 3 inches, that's what you're going to put into your GPS. That's you're working with. A lot of tools, they say advertise 30 foot and you end up only putting 29 foot in your GPS working with. So that's the true width of the John Deere tool.
Oh, very nice. And what is the availability of this machine? When will it start hitting dealer lots or be available?
So right now you can order them through your John Deere dealer and we will have fall availability. So you should be able to get one by this fall.
Well, Bennett, thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of these out in the field.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. We're going to visit with Glenn Padgett from John Deere about the John Deere +2 accumulator for round balers. Pretty interesting product. And Glenn, what can you tell us about this implement?
Yeah, hi, thanks Jason. I'm Glenn Padgett from John Deere in Ottumwa, Iowa, marketing rep for all the hay tools. And today here we're standing in front of the +2 accumulator at the 2019 National Farm Machinery Show. The +2 accumulator was brand new in 2017. The great thing about the accumulator is that it retrofits back through 7 Series round balers. So you do not need a new baler to put this on your machine. So, which is kind of unique for John Deere. Usually if it's something we come out with, it's you're bound to buy something new. That's great. It opens up the doors for a lot of guys with older machines to put this on their machine. So
I noticed that just reading the sales brochure, there's a John Deere 4430 there with a 6R on the round baler, so definitely a highlight.
Absolutely. So the great thing about that picture too is that is our senior design engineer at John Deere Tumworks. It's his whole rig, his 4430, his 7 Series baler. We put that on for the photo shoot, and that is one of the most talked about pictures at all of our farm shows. It just lets you know, hey, we're flexible. We can do lots of things for some guys with some older equipment.
Very good.
Yep. So before, when you wrapped your bale, you were bound to dump the bale in the field exactly where you're done wrapping. Now with this machine, it allows you to carry your bales to whatever point in the field that makes the most sense to get your bales off. And Jeremy, the guy whose rig that was before, I'm gonna steal one of his lines. It makes baling fun again. So now, instead of just, like I said before, just putting them just randomly in the field, so now I can strategically put them in the field to maximize your time to get the bales off. So on the accumulator, this is the damper arm. So this helps eat up some of the energy of the bales as it comes out of the chamber. Spring loaded here, so it helps keep the bale on the cart. So I know some of the folks have asked before about is this an inconvenience for loading net? And we gave you some features here to get in here, so you can just pull this pin and swing the gate open to get to your net wrap. And it's, for me personally, it's easier to load the net. Now I've got another place to walk the net up onto the carriage or into storage. I also too want to talk about a little bit on the damper arm as far as hills. I know we get a lot of questions at farm shows about, will this work in my hills? Absolutely, this will work in your hills. The only situation I want you to be aware of is when you're tractor down. At tractor down, we've got nothing on this right now to keep the bale on the cart. And at about a 7 degree of slope, a bale without any additional force will roll down with gravity. So at tractor down, you get past 7 degrees, just be aware of that. You have to get out of your windrow and position yourself slightly just so the bale will stay on the cart. Now, tractor up, tractor side hill, in most cases you don't have to do anything at all. Just put your bale on your cart, take it to the flat spot at the top of the bottom of the hill and drop it off there.
Well, and that's a nice thing to be able to carry them off the hill so they don't roll away.
Exactly. Yep. So one of the great things about the +2 accumulator is how we've integrated it into the baler, into all the hydraulics of the tractor. It's integrated mechanically to your wheel drops. It bolts on. Some of the previous accumulators we had in the past has had a trail behind wagon or trailer with caster wheels. That's been eliminated. There are 4 12-ply tires underneath the baler. The integration mechanically allows you to run your baler just like you would before in the past. You don't even know it's back there. It's not an issue backing up in the field or on the farm.
It looks like a very compact design. I mean, it's just right there.
Yep, and so what you can see right now too, the configuration is in the field mode. If I want to put it up into transport, I can pull up on this right here. And if you come on the back side, you can see it stays within the width of the baler. Now when I get out, I just come out, push this lever, pull it out into field mode.
Very easy.
So there's also integration with the hydraulics and electronics. So in your cab, there's no additional box to run all the features of the accumulator. All the functions and features of this accumulator is run through my hydraulics, my tractor. So my sequence of events is that I still have to stop to wrap the bale. Once I stop, I kick the bale out, the bale falls off this transfer arm. The chains on the gate lift up and push the bale onto the cart. Once the bale's on the cart, now my sequence of events, I just push my SCV again to close the gate. But first, it's this paddle here is going to push the bale to the open side. Once it goes to the open side, there's a proximity switch over there. It lets it know the bale is cleared and it's clear to close the gate. Then the gate will close. So now, as I get back on my windrow and I'm going to bale, and the way I'm laying my field off, I'm making 1 or 2 rows. on the go. Do not need to stop. I can dump the bale off the cart with my third SCV. This gate, the cart will dump to the back and allow the bale to roll off. Like I said, it really makes baling fun. Again, it just gives you another feather in your cap too if you're doing some custom work. Instead of randomly dumping bales in the field, I can put them in one location for either yourself or your customer in a fence row. You want to make 1 or 2 rows. I know when we initially put this together, we were doing all of our photo shoots, we just had 1 row. And the great thing about our customers, we drop this off with 1 for a demo. We come back, he's making 2 rows in the field, pulling his wagon in between and loading from both sides.
I imagine if you had like a Frontier, like the bale carrier, you could probably just run right down the row and pick up 8 bales and be on your way.
Exactly. So we worked with guys in Montana. They had self-loading wagons or Stinger trucks. So now for them, you know, it was minimizing trips across pivot tracks, just getting on 1 row, loading up. You know, with those guys, we saw 75% reduction in bale retrieval times.
I guess you're reducing compaction because you're not running all over the field.
Yeah, and one of the other stories, you know, I just love telling too is when we first brought this machine up, we were just focused on time reduction because we were seeing a minimum of 50% reduction getting the bales off the field up to 75%. We had this machine in Wisconsin with 2 cooperators. When we went to visit them at the end of the year, we asked them what was the biggest impact for these machines that they had for your operation, and both of them said without a doubt it was tonnage. They were seeing increased tonnage on future cuttings because they were minimizing wheel traffic on the regrowth. If they didn't get the bales off in time, they let them sit too long, they were able to now get them to one end of the field or in 1 row. And so now as the crop was regrowing, especially like in an alfalfa crop, that crown of the alfalfa as it was coming up, as you drive over it, if you cut it on day 1, by day 5 you could see up to 20% reduction in yield where you drive on that field. So for them, you know, getting the tonnage was critical for them. So having this accumulator, they were seeing additional tonnage on future cuttings.
Very good investment.
Exactly. So, and you know, I really would like you to go to your dealer and, you know, see about, like I said before, you know, the retrofitability. Just because you don't have a new machine, you don't have to purchase a new machine, go back as far as 7 Series, as long as you have a 6-foot diameter machine. The 4x5, 5x5 machines right now, we do not have the capability to retrofit to those machines, but anything in a 4x6 or a 5x6, as far back as 7 Series, as long as you got the high flotation tires and the Megawide Plus pickup, will retrofit to your machine.
Well, Glenn, thank you for the information on this, and I look forward to seeing one out in the field.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.